Hold on real quick, guys. I'll be right back.
And then there were two, except there's only one because Ty's not here. Sports. This is the Oregon Fan Show on Fan Media Network. Well, welcome into another episode of the Quack Corner. Juan, I got you there. Don't you worry about it. On the Fan Media Network, also known as the Oregon Fan Show, but it's the Quack Corner alongside Tyler Peterson and Juwan Williams. I'm TJ Brassel. And with the draft tonight, we're going to go really heavy on the draft. But before we get there, we have to give props where props are due. Oregon baseball, absolutely dominating right now. Ranked number 8 in the country by USA Today. That's the highest they've been ranked since 2015. The highest they've ever been ranked is number 5 at 2012, since they brought baseball back to Eugene anyways. And they just swept San Jose State in the past 2 days. Their second game with an absolutely dominant performance. And Ty, I was talking to you earlier and you gave me some really interesting facts on what it's looking like for the postseason for the Ducks.
Yeah, if you look at what Baseball America put out yesterday, first of all, in their power rankings, they went up from 14 to 11, so closer to what the USA has them at right now. But if you look at what they project for the field of 64, they have them hosting one of the regional sites. So what they have right now are Oregon, Gonzaga, Baylor, and SDSU, San Diego State, in that group of 4, which would be a really interesting little quartet there. But how about this, Teach? Just to goes to show you how well they've been playing. Like you said, they swept San Jose State. Mm-hmm. They took 2 of 3 from UCLA, and that one loss was in extra innings, which is an extremely close game.
Yeah,
they almost came back. In fact, UCLA scored 2 in the top of the 10th, and they came back with 1 of their own in there, bottom of the 10th, but they just couldn't get the job done. Mm-hmm. But Oregon this year against the top 25 are 10-3. Which is extremely impressive. Yeah. So it just goes to show you that they are for real.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that kind of speaks to their ranking as well. Is that like they've lost some games, they've dropped some games. When you're that dominant versus that high, that quality of opponent, and I feel like when Oregon brought back, I should say, Coach Waz, like they had a feeling that this type of success was going to happen rather quickly. And last year, obviously, with the season not really getting to happen, like you didn't really get to see all the things that were being put in place. And now you're really getting to see what's happening here. And the Ducks are looking great. We still got a few weeks left before postseason. I'm really excited to see what they kind of can keep, if they can keep riding this wave and go in postseason, make some noise, and who knows how far they can go from there.
I feel that, we could be the Oregon State of baseball. We already beat up on the little brother in baseball. That's when my eyebrows raised. I was like, hey, I know Oregon State has our number in one sport, but that can't be said this year. Baseball is ours now, so we can definitely make a showing in this field as well as get to Omaha. So I'm right there for it. Let's go, Coach Moss.
I like it. All right, now with the draft tonight, like we got to talk draft. We just can't not. And I mean, we all know who is presumed to be the first Oregon Duck taken off the board in Penei Sewell. I got a couple hot takes I'm gonna hit you guys with, but let me hit you with the first one. I think I might be a little biased, but I think that Penei Sewell is going into the draft. I'm talking just everything leading up to the draft. Going into the draft, he's the most ready-made Hall of Famer going into the draft that I've ever seen. Like, I feel like as long as everything goes well in his career, like barring unforeseen circumstances, this dude's going to the Hall of Fame. Like, am I crazy here, or do you guys think I'm a little bit onto something at least?
I mean, when you give him that much higher of a credit, you have to understand that he plays his position doesn't get that much light. I would say he can definitely be a Hall of Fame left tackle in the next 20 or so years, however long his career lasts. But you can't, call that at this moment. I credit you for doing it. If it happens, kudos to you. But, no one is really saying that he's a Hall of Famer right now. I had to give it to Kyle Pitts just because he is, as you said, the ready-made offensive weapon in the draft. But no, most definitely Sewell is head and shoulders above all the rest.
Yeah, and right now, if you look at what Mel Kiper has on his big board, he's the best offensive tackle, rightfully so, and the sixth best prospect overall on his big board. And offensive tackles are never sexy picks, especially when you're picking in the top 10. You want that skill guy, or just some beast of a defensive end. But he's a football player's kind of football player. If you know football and you know how, as John Madden would say, a team is built with an offensive line first.
Absolutely.
So that's where you start. And of course, tackle is such an important position to protect your quarterback.
See, I want to push back a little bit, and you're absolutely correct that it's not a sexy pick, but like at the same time, if you're a team like Cincinnati, or if the Chargers could somehow get Panay, my day, week, year, month, whatever would be made, because I would love to have Panay protecting Justin for the rest of their careers. Oh, it'd be great. But if you have all those skill positions, I feel like a left tackle is a sexy pick, because you're like, hey, look, we're going to keep our quarterback not getting his butt kicked for the next 12 years. Like, sounds great to me. But with that being said, plenty of other ducks in this draft. The other one that's projected to go in the first round is Jevon Holland. And not a lot of people have been talking about him, but one thing that I find kind of interesting, if you're not going to be a top 10 pick, or you're not projected to be a top 10 pick anyways, I feel like when you fall later in the first round, like if you're a first round pick, you're a first round pick. Like, that's awesome. But I feel like when you fall later in the first round, it almost goes to kind of benefit guys. Like, if Jevon Holland falls to the 20 to 32, like, now all of a sudden he's just ending up on a really good team, and you're just adding a really good safety onto, like, can you imagine if Jevon Holland was the last pick in the first round and fell to Tampa Bay, and it's like, hey, cool, I got to go play on Tampa Bay. Bummer.
No, absolutely. I mean, you get an experienced DB who can literally play, I would say, all three positions at the corner, safety, or nickel spot, and you get someone who returns kicks, returns punts. So you definitely get a juggernaut, or a key that can unlock a lot of things for a team. And as you say, if he falls to the later parts of the first round, he gets to go to a better team in a better situation. I can see him fitting in very well with the Buccaneers, just because they lost a couple guys in free agency. So, you go to a place where they have championship aspirations. You get to play on the other side of Tom Brady and Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Gronk, things of that. Those guys every day of the weekend, you'll learn something. You'll become a better player, and he'll benefit extremely.
Now, there's a lot of prognosticators out there. I'm just going to stick with the big board from Kiper and McShay from ESPN. They're a little bit more bearish on Holland. They have him as the 57th best prospect.
Really?
In this draft, the third best safety. And with Sewell and Holland, those are the only two Ducks in the top 150 for them.
I mean, I know we're an Oregon fan show, and like, we're Team Oregon over here. So like, okay, counted, there's bias, but I would push back heavy on that. Like, I mean, for one, Holland should be much higher than 57. Like, I'm not saying he's a top 10 guy necessarily. I mean, you could make the argument, but I'm not saying that right now. But what I'm saying is, like, he's a first round guy. I think what hurt him in some of the like scouts' eyes was probably not playing this year, and not for the fact that like, oh, he sat out. It's just like he was really good the last 2 years, but he was kind of kept rising. And so like this year he didn't play, and so many other defensive guys kind of showed out. It's like people are almost kind of like forgetting about him. Like, let me stop and let you guys go.
No, absolutely. I would say you're correct in that regard, just because, it's like when we were kids, you have all your toys lined up in your room, but as soon as you go to the store and you get a new toy, that's all you can play with. That's all you can think about. Granted, you still have all your old amazing toys, but you're fascinated with this new toy. And that's what happened in Jevon's case. I mean, he's a great talent, great DB, has great feet, great hands, can play the ball in the air and go get it at any moment and anywhere. But you have other guys who actually played this year, and scouts are it's a what have you done for me lately type of league, instead of your record speaks or your resume speaks for you.
Okay.
All right, so let me just throw a couple more names at you guys and get some reaction here.
All
Let me
right.
see what you think. So there's going to be 259 picks made over the next 3 days. Kuiper and McShay have 500 guys, 1 through 500, that they think are the best players.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this is going to upset me.
Six more Oregon guys made that list of top 500.
Okay.
We're going to start with defensive tackle. He has as the 15th best defensive tackle, Jordan Scott, and the 27th best defensive tackle, Austin Faoliu.
I would put both of them higher, but okay.
He has 2 corners.
Mm-hmm.
He has Thomas Graham Jr. as the 32nd corner in the draft, and Diamador Lenore as the 45th corner.
45th corner? Man, people bash on Diamador for reasons that I do not know. Like, he's so much better than how people rate him. I don't understand it. It really bothers me. Please continue, Tyler.
2 more. The last 2 more DBs. So it's all defense for the rest of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
2 safeties as the 21st safety in the draft. We didn't see much of him recently, Brady Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And the 36th best safety in the draft, Nick Pickett. And that rounds out all the dots they have on their big board.
But yeah, I mean, I'd say Brady's in the same position as Javon.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes out last year after his incredible 2 games on the later part of the season last year, it's like, he could go, first 3 rounds. But due to COVID, and then he opts out of this year, you get that shiny new toy in your face. It's like, okay, we understand that you had a great 2019, but we would love to see what you've done in 2020. You get another year experience under your belt, another year competition. And, it definitely hurts a little bit, but he has great talent. And, it could be a case where he goes to a great situation that, they nurture him, they put him in the best position to be successful, and then he blooms from there.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I'm the one thing with all these guys being rated low is kind of what Jawan was saying is that, like, it can lead to them just ending up kind of by circumstance on really good teams, and then they show out and people are like, oh, whoops, we messed up. And then the team that gets them is like, hey, look what we did. So, I mean, I have a question for you guys. We don't have much time. So just give me a name, and real quick, who do you guys think is going to be the biggest sleeper pick of the Oregon picks in this draft? Ty, you go first, and Jawan, just give me a name because we only got a minute or so left.
Well, to be honest, I hated facing Diamador Lenore when he played ASU. So honestly, for being so low, I would have to go with him.
Juan?
Jordan Scott. I feel like if he's definitely a Patriots type of guy. If the Patriots can get him, I know Belichick likes his defensive tackles, and he's a hole plugger.
Fair enough. And I just want to throw one last hot take in. It's not even Oregon, but I just need to get it on camera. Is that I am convinced everyone's talking about if the Patriots are going to be moving up or anything like that. I'm convinced they're going to stay put. Davis Mills is going to the Patriots, and Davis Mills from Stanford is going to be the next Patriots quarterback. You heard it here first. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Make sure to comment questions or any comments. We'll get them on the show, and we will see you guys next week.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.